Bitcoin is creating a massive bearish divergence, but while this is happening, we're also creating a massive CME gap because yes, right now we're trading in a weekend. So on today's update video, I will be talking about the bearish divergence, about the most important support trading below us right now, the entire Bitcoin trend, where we are heading towards next, and of course, I will be talking about the most important resistance that is still yet to come, and even more importantly, the biggest move on Bitcoin is still yet to come, and I will be explaining it in today's update video, why this is so. So don't forget to once again slap that like button back above 1000 likes on today's update video. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. And yes, if we're just looking at the imminent short term, Bitcoin right now is creating a higher high on the 4-hourly time frame, while in fact the RSI is creating a lower high. So right now, for the first time in this entire trend towards the upside, Bitcoin is creating an ever so slight bearish divergence, but I don't really believe that we should be worried all too much about this signal. But I do want to be pointing out it is currently getting created. I mean, right now it is weekend, and over the course of the weekend, we're going to be trading somewhere around that CME open price, and currently the CME open price is sitting around $67,000. So we're expecting that over the course of the weekend, Bitcoin is going to be hovering around this region, and whether we're going to be having a big dump over the course of the weekend, we're expecting at the end of the weekend, we're going to come back towards this level, and whether we're going to be having a big pump over the course of the weekend, I'm also expecting that Bitcoin eventually is going to come back towards that mean level, sitting currently around $67,000. And yeah, whenever the next big move is going to be happening, it is most likely not going to be happening over the course of the weekend. And yes, even though we're creating a slight little bearish divergence right here, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be having a big drop off or whatsoever, because if I'm currently looking at the trend on Bitcoin, we're clearly, after creating that lower high and lower low structure here in the market, we've clearly flipped this structure in an higher low structure on the lower side, and we broke above the previous range high in the market, and currently we are retesting one of the most important levels of resistance in this entire trend. And I pointed this level out already before we even came close towards retesting this level. I talked about it in yesterday's video, in the video before as well. But $67,000 is going to be one of the most critical levels to be breaking above of for Bitcoin. And currently we can clearly see it. This level so far provided some resistance. And whenever Bitcoin breaks above this resistance box here on the top side, I think that the next target is going to be sitting around $71,000. So it's a very important level where we should be paying attention towards, and whenever we break above it, we're going to see a very big breakout towards the upside. And I mean, talking about a breakout, we're still breaking bullish of that symmetrical triangle pattern, which I believe still is going to be happening eventually for Bitcoin. And of course, we're seeing that also the inverse head and shoulders pattern is breaking bullish for Bitcoin. So basically, on all different patterns and all different signals and all different structures, we're seeing that Bitcoin is breaking bullish, and we could even approach this, of course, as a massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. And really, once we break above $67,000, that is the point where the most exponential rally is most likely going to be happening. And what is very interesting, what I've been seeing, is that while Bitcoin indeed has been going back up again here, the funding rates remain to be extremely low. And even yesterday in the night, they went negative, which means that the majority of the traders in the market are still trading short. And usually, once that tends to happen, especially in bull markets, just for example, it happened right here in the market, we saw an even bigger squeeze towards the upside. And if you're looking at the daily time frame, are going to be looking at previous times in the previous bull market, every single time once the funding rate went negative in this bull market, it was one of the biggest opportunities we had out there in the market. And once again, for the first time in this bull market, Bitcoin is consolidating and the funding rates have been significantly resetted and even went negative sometimes. And this is just also a clear signal that Bitcoin is heading higher. As long as there's enough view from people that are going to be shorting this run up, it is eventually going to be going only higher from off this point. And that is a thing you need to understand. And right now, since we have seen clearly the funding rates reset, I think that this is a very good time to potentially see that next start of that new leg towards the upside for Bitcoin. And right now as well, we're finally starting to tap in towards the liquidity, but still the $2.4 billion, or I can better say the $2.5 billion Bitcoin short squeeze has not happened yet so far here, because still the majority of the liquidity is laying around 67,530, and so far we've not touched that level, but we are extremely close on grabbing a ton of liquidity out of the market. And how many times have I said this? Bitcoin is always going to grab the liquidity. I said this while we were sitting around $57,000. I saw that the liquidity was going to get built up on the top side, and now we're finally grabbing this liquidity. I told you this so many times before on the channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you are going to stay up to date about all these signals, because whenever they're flashing, you will be the first one to be knowing. Also, having a quick look in towards my trade, currently in a profit of about $122,000, which is quite insane here if you would ask me. And currently, if we're looking at the imminent short term on Bitcoin, even though we're trading in a weekend, we're creating somewhat of a new pattern here. We're creating an upward sloping support line, downward sloping resist line. So we're expecting that potentially in the imminent short term, we're going to see somewhat of a squeeze on Bitcoin. But of course, you have to understand that the biggest move is not going to be happening over the course of a weekend, because we are currently creating a CME gap. And whenever we're going to be creating a big move, I still believe that we're going to come back towards that mean price sitting around $67,000. So if you want to be trading yourself here as well, don't forget to check out the link description of today's video, where you can currently claim a free $200 trade on Bybit. And it's super simple to claim this trade. So first of all, you go to the link description of today's video, you press on this link, you sign up an account using that link below, you deposit $100 in your first 7 days, and boom, you could be claiming a free $200 trade on Bybit. It is as simple as that here. So super easy to use and super easy to claim. So make sure to check it out in the link description of today's video if you want to be joining me with my trade. Because if you've been watching the channel, I share this trade step by step here. And if you joined me, you would have made similar profits, which is of course quite nice. Also, talking about what Bitcoin is doing, I believe that still the biggest move is still yet about to come here. Because if we're going to be looking at the Bollinger Bands and basically the volatility index, the volatility is right now still sitting at lows not seen in a very, very long time here. And every single time, like you can see, while I'm currently drawing, every single time, once we hit this region right here, we've always seen a big move on Bitcoin. And so far, we have not seen it yet here. So I believe this is once again another indication that a massive move is imminent for Bitcoin, and a massive move is coming. And most likely, I think it's going to be once again a squeeze towards the upside. So make sure to pay attention towards it. But so far what we've seen is nothing for what is about to be coming. Volatility is likely going to be hitting the market. And especially if we're going to be breaking out of this, what is it, bull flag pattern, which we've been creating for a very long time right now here. Bitcoin has been going sideways for over 84 days. And whenever we break out of this pattern, we're going to be seeing a massive squeeze in the market. And that is going to be an amazing thing. And that is also the point where the volatility is going to be turning up. And if we're just looking at history, every single time once the halving occurred, we're seeing a big bull run come afterwards. And I won't be surprised, it's going to be once again happening. So please do not fade it. And whenever there's going to be another 20 to 23% correction in this next upcoming move towards the upside, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I will be pointing it out. Because one of the reasons why I opened my trade is because I believe that 20 to 23% corrections are going to be the bare bottom for this Bitcoin bull market standard. Whenever it's going to be happening again, you will be the first one to know here on the channel. So this is it for me in today's update video. There's not a lot of new stuff happening currently, but if you did enjoy it, don't forget to slap that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends and family, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.